AITA for refusing to take care of my sister's kids after she moved overseas and calling her out on how little she's helped. I, 34M, have a complicated relationship with my sister, Sarah, 29F. We've always been close growing up, but lately things have gotten pretty tense. This all started about a year ago when Sarah decided to move abroad with her two kids, ages 3 and 5, leaving them here with me and my wife, Emily, 32F. I want to explain everything because the situation is complicated and I honestly don't know if I'm the asshole or if my sister is. To give some background, Sarah has always been a bit flaky and irresponsible. She's struggled with steady employment and financial stability for years. She's a great mom in many ways, very loving and creative, but she hasn't been able to hold down a job or consistently provide for her children. Emily and I have always been the stable ones in the family, and we've often helped Sarah out financially or by babysitting when she needed. About a year ago, Sarah told me she was moving overseas for a job opportunity. It was a big deal because she was going to be in Europe for at least a year, maybe longer. She had no one else to watch her kids while she was gone, so she asked me to take care of them. I was caught off guard. I had a full-time job, my own two kids, ages 4 and 6, and we just bought a house that needed a lot of attention. But Sarah insisted, saying this was a huge opportunity she couldn't pass up. She promised she would send money every month to help with childcare costs and that she would come home for visits whenever she could. Emily and I talked it over and decided to help. We love my sister's kids, and I wanted to support Sarah if this move was going to improve her life. The arrangement was that Sarah would pay for daycare for her kids while I was at work. I'd watch them mornings, evenings, and weekends. We agreed to a trial period of 6 months to see how it worked. From the start, things were rough. Sarah rarely sent the money on time, sometimes not at all. I had to cover daycare costs up front and hope she'd reimburse me. I reached out to her multiple times asking for the money or to discuss the finances, but I'd get vague excuses or nothing at all. Meanwhile, her kids were acting out a lot, which I expected given the upheaval, but it made my own kids stressed too. My wife was overwhelmed because she was juggling our kids, my sister's kids, and managing the household. After about 4 months, Emily and I sat Sarah down on a video call to talk about the arrangement. We were honest. We couldn't keep covering childcare costs, and we were exhausted. We told her she needed to step up financially or make other arrangements. Sarah got defensive and accused me of not supporting her dreams and not being family. She said she was sending money, but it must be lost in the bank or delayed, and that I was making a big deal over nothing. At this point, I was frustrated but still willing to work something out. I offered to send her regular updates about the kids and keep receipts for expenses. I also suggested maybe she could find a local relative or friend to help watch the kids, so I wasn't bearing the full burden. She said no, that I was the only one she trusted, and she expected me to help because we're family. The last straw came about 2 weeks ago. Sarah texted me, saying she was coming home for a week and wanted me to take the week off work to watch all 4 kids full-time while she was here. She also said she hadn't sent any money for the past 2 months, but expected me to understand because she was going through a tough time abroad with work. I told her I couldn't take a week off work on such short notice, especially unpaid, and reminded her that she hadn't contributed financially in months. She exploded, accusing me of being selfish and not really family if I wouldn't help her. She said she's sacrificed a lot for this job, and I should support her sacrifices instead of acting like a burden. I replied that taking care of her kids full-time without compensation or support wasn't fair to me or my family, especially when she wasn't helping at all. I told her if she wanted me to do that, she needed to contribute financially and communicate better. Since then, Sarah has barely spoken to me. She's blocked me on social media and stopped responding to texts. Family members have asked me if I'm the asshole for not supporting my sister. Emily and I are stuck in a tough spot. We want to help, but it's draining us emotionally, financially, and physically. My sister's kids are great kids, but this situation has caused a lot of stress for everyone involved. So, Reddit, AITA for refusing to take care of my sister's kids full-time without her financial or emotional support, and calling her out on how little she's helped since moving overseas? Or am I being too harsh given she's trying to better her life? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the content grow and motivates me to create even more great videos. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any new uploads. By the way, I'm curious, when do you usually watch my videos? While working, studying, or just relaxing at home? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for your support. AITA for refusing to let my sister's boyfriend stay at my house after he caused a huge scene and made my partner uncomfortable. This has been a tough situation, and I'm honestly still trying to figure out if I'm the asshole here or if I was completely justified. I'll give some context to make everything clear. I, 29F, have been living with my partner, Alex, 31M, for about 3 years now. We share a cozy apartment in a quiet neighborhood, and we really value our peaceful home environment. We don't have a huge social life, but we do host close friends and family occasionally. My sister, Jenny, 27F, has been dating this guy, Kyle, 30M, for around 6 months now. I met Kyle a few times, and while I didn't hate him, I wasn't super impressed either. He always seemed a bit aggressive and hot-headed, but I try to keep an open mind. About a month ago, Jenny had to go out of town for work for a few days. She asked if Kyle could stay at our place while she was gone because he needed a change of scenery and didn't want to be alone in his apartment. I was hesitant but agreed because I wanted to be supportive of my sister and didn't want Kyle to feel left out or unwelcome. I told Alex about it, and he was a bit uneasy but didn't want to cause drama, so he agreed as well. Kyle came over and stayed at our place for 2 nights. The first night was fine. Kyle was respectful and seemed to stay mostly to himself. But the second night was where things went downhill. Around 10 p.m., Kyle invited some of his friends over without telling us. They were loud, drinking heavily, and the noise was disruptive. I asked Kyle politely if they could keep it down since we had to work early the next day. He shrugged it off and told me to relax, saying it was just a small get-together. I was annoyed, but didn't want to start a fight. Later that night, one of Kyle's friends broke a glass in the kitchen and left it on the floor. I nearly cut my foot on it the next morning. When I brought this up, Kyle apologized but was clearly dismissive, saying accidents happen and I was overreacting. The real problem happened on the last night of his stay. Alex and I were watching a movie in the living room, and Kyle and his friend were being loud in the other room. Alex asked me if Kyle could at least turn down the volume, as he was trying to relax after a long day. I went to ask Kyle again, but this time he was drunk and belligerent. He snapped at me, saying, "Who the hell do you think you are, telling me what to do in a place that's not even yours?" I told him it was our apartment, and we expected some respect. He laughed and said, "Yeah, well, you don't own me or my friends." The argument escalated quickly. Kyle started raising his voice, calling Alex and me names, and making a scene. His friends joined in, egging him on. At that point, Alex got up and told Kyle firmly to leave. Kyle refused and started yelling that Jenny was going to be mad at us for kicking him out. I called Jenny to tell her what was happening, and she was shocked but told me to do whatever I needed to keep the peace. Eventually, Alex and I managed to get Kyle out of the apartment, but the whole ordeal left us both shaken. After Kyle left, I sent Jenny a message explaining why we couldn't let Kyle stay anymore. Jenny called me later, furious. She said I was being unfair to Kyle and that he was just having a bad night. She accused me of ruining their relationship and told me I was the one causing problems in the family. I'm now torn. On one hand, I feel like I was protecting my home and standing up for my partner. On the other hand, I wonder if I was too harsh on Kyle or if I should have been more understanding since he was a guest. So, Reddit, AITA for refusing to let my sister's boyfriend stay at my house after he caused a huge scene and made my partner uncomfortable. AITA for refusing to attend my sister's wedding because of her fiancé's past and the way my family is handling it. This has been a huge point of contention in my family for the past year, and I honestly don't know if I'm the asshole here or if I'm justified. I'm hoping to get some perspective from you all because this situation has been tearing my family apart. So, a bit of background first. I, 33F, have a younger sister, Emily, 28F. Growing up, we were always close but have drifted a bit in adulthood. She moved to a different city after college, and while we talk sometimes, It's not every week or anything. Our family is pretty tight-knit, though, and we all get together for holidays and special occasions. About a year ago, Emily told us she was engaged to a guy named Jake. Initially, I was happy for her, though I didn't know much about Jake beyond what Emily shared. She said he was great, funny, and a good guy. My parents were thrilled, as were most of the rest of the family. But here's where things got complicated. I did some digging, mostly out of curiosity, because Emily didn't give me much detail about Jake. I looked him up on social media and found some troubling stuff. There were posts from several years ago about him having a criminal record. Specifically, he was convicted for a DUI and had a couple of run-ins with the law related to reckless behavior. More concerningly, there was a report of him being involved in a domestic dispute with a previous girlfriend. The details were murky, but it wasn't just a minor thing. When I brought this up gently with Emily, she brushed it off. She said Jake had changed, that he owned up to his mistakes, and that his past wasn't relevant anymore because he was a different person now. She asked me not to judge him based on his past because everyone makes mistakes. I wanted to believe her and tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. However, the more I saw how my parents and the rest of the family treated this, the worse it got. They started insisting that Emily's decision was final and that I should just accept Jake as part of the family. Some even said I was being unfair or judgmental for caring about Jake's past. My parents hinted that if I didn't support Emily, I was risking my relationship with the whole family. It got worse when Emily started planning the wedding. Jake insisted on having a clean slate and wanted to keep his past private, so the wedding was to be a small, private affair with no mention of his history. My parents fully supported this idea and started pressuring me to come to the wedding without making a fuss. They said it wasn't my place to bring up Jake's past at a happy family event. I refused. I told them I couldn't in good conscience celebrate someone with a history of serious issues, especially when those issues involve harm to others, without acknowledging it. I explained I wasn't trying to hurt Emily, but that I also couldn't ignore my concerns about Jake's past behavior. This led to a massive family fight. Emily got upset, saying I was trying to ruin her happiness and that I was being controlling. My parents accused me of being selfish and said that family loyalty meant putting aside personal judgments. Several relatives have now stopped speaking to me, and the wedding is in a few weeks with a noticeable rift in the family. Here's the thing. I don't want to hurt my sister or cause a family feud, but I also don't want to be complicit in pretending everything is fine when it's not. I'm worried that Jake's past could mean he's not a safe or stable partner for Emily. I want to protect her, even if it means standing my ground. Am I the asshole for refusing to attend the wedding because of Jake's past and the way my family has handled it? Should I just accept Emily's choice and put the past behind us for the sake of family peace? Or am I right to be concerned and insist on acknowledging what I've learned? I appreciate any thoughts.